Okay, so who remembers this position? This one? I promise you I'm not trying to speak Italian, but if you know this or remember putting your fingers together like this, you are probably anticipating the chalkboard eraser to descend upon your very, very delicate fingertips and have yourself going like this the whole fucking lesson. This video is not meant to be funny, but although in good fashion, of course, I will try to make it as lighthearted as possible, despite me talking about literal child abuse. Let's get rolling. I am not even going to beat around the bush. For as long as I can remember going to school from grade 1 up to grade 12, it was normal to get a beating from your teacher. It was very normal to get a beating from your head teacher, from whoever it is that is an authority at the school that you're going to. Was it good? No. Were the beatings warranted? No, they were not. And plenty of other Zambian kids that went to government schools or even private schools can share the same story as I do. In recent times, with the development of all sorts of ways and different ways in which you can discipline your children, we still are stuck in an era or in a very spare the rod, spoil the child mindset, which is very, very debilitating to our school systems. Because not only are our children suffering at the hands of, well, not their parents, but are scared of even expressing themselves freely. Children in both private schools and government schools all suffer a similar fate in that they are at the mercy of teachers that have been given the liberty to physically harm them or physically discipline them. It's because of the country that we live in. We live in a country that has become so complacent in this spare the rod, spoil the child mentality that we fail to realize just how dangerous the repercussions of beating children or school-going children is. I don't know how it didn't dawn on us that hitting children that are not yours is not acceptable. But I have been beaten by male teachers. I have been beaten by female teachers. Frankly, there is no difference. Catholic schools are the worst. They will beat you for stupid reasons, like maybe you are making too much noise when a male teacher was in class, your dressing is not okay, the way you addressed certain people is not okay, and you will get beaten for stupid reasons like that. Oh, being found sleeping in class, which of course was acceptable, but did I need to get an ass whooping for it? You know what I mean? Like, there are plenty of situations that not only are centered in this country, but also extend to other countries. But one particular commonality is that most of these countries are African. We have schools in South Africa that still administer corporal punishment to their children. Oprah's school in South Africa was known to beat their kids. Nigeria has a very huge culture of caning their children for late coming, failing tests, all that shit. In Kenya recently, a child was caned to a point where this person had to go to the hospital. Let me bring it even closer. At my school, a teacher had beaten an 8th grader so badly that this person had to go and get an IV drip at the clinic. Was that necessary? Was that kind of beating warranted? I don't think so. No amount of beating or no amount of misbehavior can warrant somebody being beaten to a point where they wake up in a clinic or a hospital. Or am I crazy? In this country, I have attended 4 schools, okay, from preschool all the way up to grade 12. And I have been beaten at every single one of those schools. Did I like it? No. Did I think it was okay? No, I didn't think it was okay. But because of the culture that we have in this country, and obviously that extends to most African countries, of having to revere your teachers as a sort of guardian or as a sort of parent, instead of an authoritative figure that you find in a school that is mandated to operate within the bounds of that school, as opposed to them giving them the authority of the parents, which causes this sort of, discourse and confusion. Because then teachers don't know where to draw the line. They start treating you like they're kids that they can discipline however they see fit, which is wrong. Because you have been mandated to teach children and discipline them within the confines of what the school allows. Don't whoop them. I mentioned earlier that I'd been to 4 schools my entire life. I attended some primary school, junior secondary. I did get beatings there. Junior secondary, again, when I moved to a different school, up until the time I finished high school, which is grade 12, yeah, that school was the worst. I feel like that's why I got the most beatings at that place, which was funny because it was a Catholic school. But hey, you cannot knock it until you try it. Well, at least in this case, don't judge them until you try them, because they were atrocious. The entire situation was atrocious. I got the most beatings at a Catholic school than I did at a government-owned school. Make that make sense. I got beatings from sisters. And I don't know if this video is even gonna reach the amount of people I wanted to reach, or even the authorities that can even speak on such kind of issues. But we've been going back and forth about corporal punishment in this country, whether to keep on enforcing it or to do away with it. I still stand by doing away with it, because any school that is still practicing this shit should come to an end. I have nieces that still say, if I don't finish my homework, my teacher's gonna dust me. What in the actual fuck? As people that share similar ideals, we need to learn to separate what ideally works, maybe it's in biblical terms, and what ideally works for people on a logical point of view. And beating children in schools is not logical at all. Whether you want to justify it by saying spare the rod, spoil the child, which is a quote from the Bible. If not from the Bible, I'm not sure. You people steal a lot of shit from a whole bunch of texts, so I wouldn't even know which book it is from specifically. But what I mean to say is, if we are at the forefront of administering corporal punishments to children, as opposed to approaching it from a more logical and intellectual point of view, it would serve a better example to children as opposed to hitting them and whipping them. This idealistic / biblical mindset of believing that the only way to discipline a child is by beating them is something that we need to do away with, because it's the only thing that is standing in the way of a successful future in which we foster an environment where we can breed a crop of pupils that are fearless, that speak their mind without fear of being beaten or without fear of being ostracized by their own school because they're different. Certain children in high school got beaten for being different by their teachers because they just couldn't understand them. I know I've been a victim of plenty of beatings, some, of course, due to delinquent behavior, some were unwarranted. But nonetheless, the option of beating a child, a pupil, in school premises should never be an option at all. It should never be made available to teachers, and we should stop normalizing this shit. I need a moment to breathe. In as much as we believe in reinforcing ideals in our children, in whatever way that we see fit, it should never be the responsibility of somebody who is not your guardian, who is not your parent, to lay hands on you. It took me, I don't know how many years after high school, of realizing that certain punishments or certain forms of punishments in schools that were going on and still are going on currently were not okay. And I'm here to tell you that they're still not okay. I'm here to tell you to stand against corporal punishments in schools, because this shit is gonna drive us mad. I don't know. I hope somebody from my high school sees this shit. Probably tag my my former headmaster. But I mean this with every form of disdain and hatred that I still feel to my heart right now from all the beatings I got. Stop it. Children don't need to be caned, whooped, dusted, whatever the fuck, for them to understand that you mean business, for them to understand that you're the authority. To me, it just shows weakness. Weakness that you cannot control a situation without threatening bodily harm to innocent children that can't defend themselves. So let's be better, guys. Let's act better. Let's be better as pupils. Let's be better as teachers. Because we are all mandated to take care of each other, the teacher and the pupils. I have friends who have studied teaching currently, are currently practicing teachers that have been posted to different locations. I urge you to start with yourself. It starts with you. Take it upon yourself to be the change you want to see. I don't think I want to take my child to a school that physically beats them, that causes bodily harm to them merely because they were in a noisy class, so they couldn't just tell them to keep quiet. So to make this interesting, I would encourage you to comment down below what your worst beating was And the name of the school. You know what? You gotta expose this shit. The only way you would want to feel that your children are safe is by ensuring a safe environment yourself. You be at the forefront of ensuring that you create a safe environment for your children. Guys, we're old. We're gonna be having kids soon. We're gonna be paying tuition soon. And I'm not gonna be paying tuition to a school that beats my kids. So comment down below what your worst high school beating was, and let's see which one of you tries to top the other. As for now, I am the loneliest sweet potato telling you to, think really hard about the shit they did to you back then, because some things were literally abuse. I'll see you in the next video, I guess. Peace and love.